Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the commands for files and directories in Unix, and I've assumed you've read through the class notes, you've been in class. We're looking at page 149 to 155, and we're going to look at the just some basic stuff about creating files, creating directories, copying files, and so on. So I'm at the Unix prompt, as you see here, and I'm going to make a directory, mkdir. Just make a directory. Let me give it a name. Let's say dir1. And when Unix comes back and doesn't complain, so it's done something. In this case, it's made the directory. I can check to see if that directory in fact has been created by typing the ls, which means list source. Now just give me the content of the current directory, and the current directory, as you see over here, is Waxman. Right? This is Waxman on the CS12 machine, and so when I created dir1, it was within that directory, like a folder within a folder. So if I say ls-l, which gives me a lot of information about the folders and the files in the Waxman directory. So notice I have one over here called dir1. Right there it is. You see right here it says dir1. I just created that one. And if I look all the way to the end of this same line, right over here, I see this little D over there, and that D says that this dir1 is a directory. Every place you see a D in the first column here, it means it's a directory. So this guy over here is a directory, right? This one here, this ABC is a directory. The next one over here, backup, is a directory. But if you go to the bottom, the first is a dash. It's not a D. That tells me that the file, that this thing here called testsend.wave is not a directory. It's actually a regular file. Now, what I'm going to do now is I want to move down into that directory. I want to change the focus. Just like if I run Windows, I would click on this dir1 to go in there. Here I have to give a command to do it, and that's the cd command, right? So I say cd, and where do I want to change to? I want to go to dir1. So I say change directory to dir1, and notice over here it shows me that now I am in the folder called dir1. If I want to see the complete path, where is dir1 is within what? So we saw the pwd command in Unix, print working directory, shows me where I am in the whole directory structure. It shows me that I am in the dir1 command folder, that directory under Waxman, under faculty, under home. This thing over here, home faculty Waxman, is my home directory. I can't get any higher than this. I can only make stuff under Waxman, and now I went into dir1. If I ask what's in dir1 by typing ls-l, right, and show me what is in here, the ls-l, so it's going to show me what's in there, and it says basically, it says there's nothing in there, right? It says total equals 0 because there's nothing in here, right? Because I haven't put any files in here. But I am in the CS12 directory. I'm going to clear the screen by typing clear, and we're still in that directory. Now I'm going to use pico to just make a file. So I'm going to say pico, and we're going to give the file a name. Let's say, just going to call it ABC, right? The file's called ABC. I'm going to get an empty window here, and I'm going to say hello from ABC. And I'm going to now Control X, close that file, and it's going to ask me, as we saw, do I want to save this thing? And I just can't show you on the screen. I'm going to say I'm going to save it, and I'm going to call it ABC, and there it is. So now I'm back at my Unix prompt, and when I do an ls-l, it shows me that within my directory dir1, I do in fact have a file called ABC, right? It happens to be sitting in that directory, and so ABC is within Waxman. Again, print working directory. ABC was in dir1, and dir1 went within Waxman and faculty and home. Now, what I want to do is I want to now copy that file. I want to copy the file called ABC from dir1, and let's say I want to put it back in just in the Waxman directory. So how do I do that? So the copy command is the cp command. Okay, so here we are in dir1, and when I do an ls-l, it shows me that in here I have one file, right? The file is called ABC. How do I know it's a file? Because if I look at the left-hand side, it says -1. I also know it's a file because I created it as a file, right? What I want to do now is copy this thing up as we saw, so the cp command does it. So I say cp, and I give the name of the file I want to copy. So that's ABC, And so the form of the copy commands, I say copy what, and I say where I want to copy it to. So there's two arguments here. I want to copy it up one, and we saw that the special name of the parent of my folder, just one folder up, is dot dot. So when I say cpabc dot dot, it's going to make a copy of the file abc, and it's going to copy it into the parent of this, in other words, into the Waxman directory, which is one directory above dir1. So I press enter. It doesn't complain. And if I move up one by saying change directory dot dot, right, cd moves me to where? To the dot dot directory, which is the parent. And how do I know I'm in the parent? pwd, print the working directory, show me where I am. I'm in the Waxman folder, which is one above. Now ls minus l over here, right, shows me what's in the directory. And here is the file abc. So what I did was, remember, I created it in here, and I can copy it from place to place. Of course, in the Windows, you can, let me show you what this is. Right here it is. In the Windows, you can just pick it up and drag it. Here you have to give commands. So what we've seen so far now are the commands for making a directory, for removing a directory, for showing where we are, the pwd command, the ls-l command, and the copy, which lets us copy from one place to the other. And we saw the special directory name dot dot, which means the parent directory. We also have two more. We have the move, the mv, which lets me actually move as opposed to copy, and the rm, which lets me remove a file. So I'm in the Waxman directory. Let me do that again. So ls-l just to see where we are. So we have this abc file. Right? You see this abc file. I'm going to create another directory here called dir2. mkdir, make directory, dir2. And let's see what happens. Let me clear the screen just to make sure we get a clear screen. And now say ls-l. And you'll notice now I have two folders over here, one called dir1 and one called dir2. Now I just created dir2, so there should be nothing in there. Let me just check that out. So I'm going to change directory to dir2. It's going to move me into that directory. And ls-l in that directory shows me that in fact total equals 0. There's no files. You see I'm in dir2 over here and there's no files. Now what I want to do is I'm going to, let me just clear the screen one more time, clear, right, clear the screen. Now I want to just copy, I want to copy, or actually move, so I'm going to say, I'm going to move the file abc from the Waxman directory, which is the parent of this, into this directory. So how do I do that? So the command for moving a file, moving is different than copying, right? When I copy, I end up with two copies. The move command picks it up and moves it. So the move command is mv. Now, what do I want to move? I want to move the file called abc from Waxman. Where's Waxman? As you saw, Waxman is the parent of this, right? In other words, dir2 comes out of Waxman. So I want to say go up one level. How do I say that? Go up one level. In that folder, in that directory, /find abc, that file. And where do I want to move it? So I want to move it here. So how do I say here? So we saw that dot is the way that I say here. Dot dot means my parent, and dot means here. So the way that I read this is I say move, that's the mv, and then I say what is it that I want to move, right? I want to move the abc. I want to move the file called abc from the parent of this directory. So in other words, abc is within dot dot, within the parent, which is the Waxman directory, and then I say where I want to move it to. I want to move it to here. So I just do that. I press enter, and let's see what happens. Remember, beforehand we had no files in here. When I do ls-l to see what I have, I in fact have a file. You see I have the file abc. Now if it really moved it, it should have also taken it out of the parent. So how do I go back up? Change directory dot dot, right? Move up one level to the Waxman folder. And now, let me see what's in there, ls-l. And lo and behold, whereas before I had abc, there is none. There's just these directories over here and the testsend.wave. Okay, so that's basically it for moving around in Unix.